I'm just trying to mind my own business, what's the matter? It's just another day, another black king captured. I'm about to lose my brain, stuck inside this ghetto rapture. I got a lot of smoke, if you want it, you can have it. They want a hat trick, but this is black girl magic. Ain't talking about the kind that'll make you disappear, but I'm talking about the power of the melanin within. Ain't looking for trouble, but I'ma say this one time. I put 2 dukes up if you try to touch mine. We still want justice for Tamir and Trayvon. You say you don't see color, but racism ain't blind. They targeting little kids whose skin look just like mine. So I'm paranoid, it's a war zone outside. And I'm a black queen, so if you ask me to step out of my car, you gon' have to snatch me. Cause I ain't going no damn well. Had to spend my whole life living unfair. Ancestors got my back and they right here. You can never understand, it's a nightmare. Living in my black shoes by the black rules. You can keep your handshake, I don't dap coons. The white man that go nuts if he cash you. But you all on his side like a damn fool. Make it make sense.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
We are exploited. We are downtrodden.
Make it make sense.
We are denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation
Queen.
away from us or aside from us is come together
Queen.
against the common enemy. Who taught you to hate the texture of your
Ahmadiyyah.
hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin?
Ahmadiyyah.
Parents, pay attention to the books, the school system, even to your little children. Lies mixed with wisdom. His skin too bright, so he was blind to the prison. My skin just right, so I collide with division. You trying to pray to God, but we tired of religion. No savior saving, we got to save our savings. We used to pay miss, how we gon' make the slave rich? But who's to blame, and tell me why you complaining? We need a team effort just to rule the nation. Like a bad relationship, missing communication. We missing moderation. They trying to get a poison to my population. No reparations, I'm getting tired of Satan.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
I'm getting tired of waiting.
We are downtrodden.
Queen.
We are denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation
Queen.
In my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunsa. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all in Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regret, we only facing the threat.
This is the sound of Eric Malcolm.
It's a cut on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threat. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans, and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. It's me now. You're my truth.
here taking the blame. A lot of y'all was at the freak off too, so don't put it all on me. That's just the truth. I've been up and down this road trying to find my peace. Confessions of a man without a release. Oh, now, hey. In the mirror, I saw the truth hiding in plain view. I'm coming clean now, this burden to undo. We were all there dancing shadows in the night, acting wrong when we knew what was right. But deep inside, there's more you must see. In this room of mirrors, it's not just me. I walk this path with heavy chains, trying to shed those sins, erase the stains. I've seen the highs and the pushing low, fading in the spotlight. That's how it goes. My sleeve, trying to clear the air, let the demons relieve. Every wrong turn and every mistake led me to this moment, let my soul quake. Plays a part in the shadows deep, lost in the game. It's promises to keep.
Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is your daily vitamins. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. Okay, give me just a second. I was literally still gathering receipts right before I started because I saw some more juicy information. Okay, please pay attention. Okay, so I'll be done in just a second. Let me just send this to my email real quick. Okay, so everyone come on in hitting that like button. Don't forget to like and share. Remember, it doesn't cost you a single thing. Okay, it's absolutely for free. All right. So go ahead and hit that like button. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Dr._A_Shakur, TikTok at Dr. A Shakur, and Twitter at DGoddess27. Okay, so hold on. I have one more thing to check. Hold on, beloved. All right. Hello, Nessie X OG Patrice. Said Queen, I'll text you, but hold on, honey. Let me check my email. Thank you, OG Patrice. Hold on. Let me see here. Hold on. Let me check my emails real quick, guys. Sorry for the inconvenience. Hold on just a second. Okay, here we go. Let me see here. OG Patrice, I don't see it, beloved. Please try to resend it. Oh, no. I'm sorry. You said you texted. Okay, I'm sorry. I thought you sent it to my email. I'm looking at the wrong thing. Hold on. Let me close out some of these tabs. Everyone, please get those likes up while I'm getting this stuff ready. And while you all are waiting, let me have a word from my sponsor. Okay, while you all are waiting on me to get this receipt. All right.
Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
Listen, purchase your 12 Tribes at Etsy.com. Look for Lisa Crafts and also on Walmart.com. Okay, and so with that all being said, let's get into it. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Okay, I don't see it, OG Patrice, beloved. I saw what you sent me, but I don't see that. I just Googled it and I don't see it. So I have to go back and find that later. Okay, so in the meantime, between time, let's get into it. Because, guys, now there is a whole lot of nefariousness going on. Okay, it's got a whole lot of stuff going on. Hold on. And I am telling you, it is all crazy. So, according to a phone call from the jail, they say that Diddy's children are in crisis. Okay, said they're in crisis. Hold on. Okay, here it is right here. This is what I'm looking for. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on, beloveds. Let me just double check something real quick. Because something is trending. I'm trying to see if there's any validity to it. Hold on. I got to double check this. Hold on. I literally just saw this before I got on here. Okay, here we go. Right here. This might be it. It looks like all of these. Hold on. Okay. All right. So anyway, let's just get into it, everybody. Let's get into it. Okay, everyone, please get the likes up. Please like and share. Thank you in advance. Now, so here's the thing. Let me see, where's that video? Okay, so the thing is this. Now, a legal expert said that there's no deal on the table for Diddy, that Diddy wouldn't take a deal, and there's no deal being offered to him. The question is, are any of his celebrity friends going to be arrested? That's important because when we look at the case of Jeffrey Epstein, they had all these allegations. And remember, I told you all this a myriad of times. They had all these allegations of trafficking and that Ghislaine Maxwell was recruiting people to be trafficked. But I kept saying, who are the customers? We know there's customers. If people are being trafficked, of course there's customers. That's obvious. But how come no one other than Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell ever got arrested? Well, that's likely because the people who were doing the trafficking, the people who were involved in it, rather, who were getting the services from these people that were being trafficked, they were high-powered people, okay, in the political arenas, in Hollywood, the music industry, you name it. And so, and some of them, even government officials, okay, I'm sure, maybe even law enforcement, okay, just pay attention. So these people didn't get indicted. They didn't get any charges. They faced no consequences. And let's not forget, that's why Jeffrey Epstein supposedly got taken up out of here. Okay. And then when you think about that 100 names that was on a list given to the judge, well, that was never unsealed because once Jeffrey Epstein's dead, who's going to talk? So that's the thing that's going on with Diddy from the sounds of it. So with that all being said, once in the chat, if you all can hear me clearly, once in the chat, if you guys can hear me clearly. Hey, Edward, Buckhorse CC, Deronda, Laverne, DSB, Dark Skin Brother. Okay, Bithia, Alice Childs. Shout out to my moderators putting in work. Nessie X. Okay, Leon, Alice Childs in the house. Okay, great. So you all can hear me. Okay, good. Okay, so with that all been said, I'm going to play this audio from a legal expert who is literally saying that Diddy's not going to get a plea deal. Okay, because some people have been saying that, oh, Diddy's taking a plea deal. Somebody even reported that Diddy took a plea deal or that he's getting ready to make a plea deal. Diddy's not going to take a plea deal. You know why he's not going to take a plea deal? Because if he takes a plea deal, that means he's admitting to something. And also, that means that he's willing to sit in prison. He's voluntarily willing to take whatever they give him. And so what if they say, we'll give you a year, we'll give you 5 years? Diddy doesn't want to do any time in prison. He doesn't want to do a day in prison. Now, he may be sent to prison after he's convicted, but he definitely doesn't want to go, and he's not going to help them to get him there. He's going to fight tooth and nail, just like his attorney has been saying. So with that all been said, let's go to what the legal experts said. Thank you, Alexa, and thank you in advance.
Quickly, they are going to fight this. Do you think there's any chance of a plea deal in this case?
Anjanette, I think a plea deal is very unlikely, and this is why. There's not really any deal to be made. There are minimum mandatories on the drug trafficking charges, 10 years, and the sex trafficking up to 15 years. That's a minimum. And of course, we know the RICO conspiracy carries a potential life sentence. So there's not any deal that Diddy would accept. And he's previously fought criminal charges before in New York State court. Obviously, a very different case involving the nightclub shooting with J-Lo, and he's beaten those charges. So here's someone with essentially unlimited means, reportedly worth $1 billion. So he's going to fight this all the way.
Diddy is friends with a lot of famous people, or at least has been over the years. And, you know, the feds say part of the reason that he made these tapes was to blackmail people, obviously blackmailing the participants, people like Cassie, to keep them in line, according to the indictment. But what about rich and powerful people? Do you think the feds have reams and reams of video, and that there are rich and powerful people we may know, on those videos in the freak-offs?
I do, and I'm here in Hollywood, and Diddy's parties were notorious and one of the worst kept secrets in Hollywood. If I were one of those rich and famous celebrities and I participated in these sex acts, I would be very concerned. I would be talking to a lawyer. At best, I'm a witness. At worst, I'm a co-defendant. And I thought that the feds were actually thinking about potentially charging others. And that's why it took 6 months to arrest and indict Diddy. But it turns out that wasn't the case. But if you believe U.S. Attorney Damian Williams, and I do, in the reports, there are at least 50 witnesses that the feds have spoken to. And I bet that some of those were participants in the sex acts.
Do you see the feds going through those videos and identifying the people in them and seeking them out, in particular, if they are wealthy and famous people, and saying, okay, do you want to be a witness or do you want to be a co-defendant?
I think they are, and I think they should. Obviously, very different case, but you know, one of the criticisms of the Jeffrey Epstein investigation is that the rich and famous people that participated in the sex acts were never brought to justice. And even Epstein himself got a sweetheart deal, probably because he was very rich and well connected. So, you know, if there are other celebrities, they shouldn't get a free pass merely because of their wealth or their fame. And, you know, I think that the U.S. Attorney's Office going after Diddy, obviously he's going to be their main target. But if there's other people that were participants, they too should be prosecuted.
Okay, yeah, they should be, but they won't be, because these people are going to be protected. People like Clive Davis, like I keep telling you all, Lucian Grange, okay, Ronald Burkle, those big time people are not going to be prosecuted. They're not even going to be brought into court 9 times out of 10. And as for the 50 witnesses, I agree with him. At the end of the day, that's what I've been telling you guys, that these people who were doing certain things, whether they were doing illegal activities or they were just standing there watching what was going on as they actively participated in the SEX acts, those people are, of course, going to testify. They're not going to risk being defendants. And remember what I told you all about these unindicted co-conspirators. Okay, that would be someone like Cassie. All right. So with that all being said, of course, everybody's going to be talking, because nobody wants to go to jail and nobody wants to be tied to Diddy or any of his nefariousness. Okay. So please pay attention. Now, with that all being said, what I was trying to substantiate is the fact that someone said, or it was posted online, it's been trending, that Kanye West says that that LeBron James had sexual relations with Diddy for $100,000. Okay, so I'm like, wait a minute, what? So I was trying to see if I could substantiate that. I saw a few places where it was posted, but yeah, I didn't see anything to confirm that it's true. Just because people are saying it doesn't make it so. So I was looking for some evidence before I start talking, okay? But so anyway, aside from all that, so let's talk about his children, because they say that Diddy's poor children, during a phone call that he supposedly had with them while he's at jail, in jail, they say that the kids are not doing so great and they're in shock and in crisis. Details emerge from Sean Diddy Combs' jailhouse phone call to his kids after his SEX trafficking arrest. Okay, this just came out today, sometime this morning. Okay, likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. So here's what they're saying. Hold on, let me get this together real quick. So they say Sean Diddy Combs has reportedly been in contact with his kids from jail, and the embattled rapper has spoken briefly to family members and his children via phone. And this is according to a source with knowledge of the situation. Now, they say that the insider claims that the father of 7 is very concerned about his children's well-being, saying that, hold on, it's a lot of pictures of them too. Says that he's very concerned about his children's well-being. Now, he says his 3 minor children, 2 of whom have no living parent available with him, incarcerated. 4 of his 7 children have neither parent available with him being incarcerated. Now, a second source close to the family claimed that Diddy's children are in a state of shock and crisis amid all of these nefarious allegations. It's heartbreaking to see the children in the state they're in. This is what the insider told the news outlet. This is their father, but to them, he's not Diddy. He's dad. He has always been a loving and devoted father. And so Diddy shared his shared son, Christian, and twin daughters, Jesse and Delilah, with late wife, Kim Porter. And Kim wasn't his wife. I don't know why they keep saying that. But with his late ex, Kim Porter, who died in 2018. They say that Diddy's adopted Porter's son, Quincy, whom the model shared with Albie Shore. Now, additionally, the music mogul is the father of Justin with stylist Misa Hilton, as well as daughter Chance with Sarah Chapman. He welcomed his youngest daughter, Love, with Dana Tran in October of 2022. Now, goes on to say that last week, a source claimed that Diddy desperately wanted to speak to his kids. While he's been behind bars, he hadn't talked to them. TMZ reported at the time that his family was leaning on each other for support and turning to God for guidance and strength. The I'll Be Missing You artist was reportedly placed on a watch after being denied bail. So, it's really sad for the kids. I don't have any empathy or sympathy for Diddy, and I wouldn't say that he was necessarily a devoted father. He seemed like he was a good father when he's around the kids for the most part. When you see the family outings and things they went on and engaged in and how he liked to have his children with him, it seemed like he spent a lot of quality time with them. But when you think about the nefarious allegations and if there's any truth or validity to any of it, which I believe there is, he couldn't have been thinking solely about his children, because he had to have known or should have known that at some point these things would cause him some trouble in the future and he might go to prison. And in fact, as I told you all yesterday, he said in 1999 in that interview that I read to you all about, he predicted that he would go to jail for these parties that he's been having. Okay, why would he say that? Now, I'm sure the person who was speaking with him, the interviewer, probably thought he was joking, and maybe he was half joking. But at the end of the day, he still knew that there were nefarious things that were illegal, likely going on at those parties. Now, that's all alleged. But if we are to believe what the people have been saying, and by people, I mean the witnesses and the victims, then there were absolutely illegal things going on. And maybe that's why they didn't want to give him a permit. And also maybe that's why he said something about going to jail. But remember on yesterday when I reported that, I was getting the information in real time, as I often do when I'm on live. And so I didn't have time to look up the video of him actually saying that during the interview. But today I have it. So here it is.
Your parties are the hottest ticket around.
They won't even give me a permit for the parties, man. They don't want me to throw the parties no more. But we ain't gonna stop. We're gonna keep on having fun, bringing people together from all walks of life. You're gonna hear about my parties. They're gonna be shutting them down. They're gonna probably be arresting me, doing all types of crazy things just because we wanna have a good time. you know, whenever you bring up a different element into people's environment, things that broaden people's horizon, people get intimidated. There's a lot of people out there that feel intimidated by it. It ain't nothing but breaking down racial barriers, breaking down generation barriers. People from all walks of life. Ron Perlman talking to Jay-Z, Jay-Z talking to, you know what I'm saying? It just goes on and on.
Okay, so here's the thing. When he says so eloquently that anytime you try to broaden people's horizons, there's always a problem. Diddy, whose horizons were you broadening with freak offs and wild parties, you know, with corn stars with a P and strippers and all of that and sex workers and people being plied with copious amounts of drugs and alcohol? How is that broadening anyone's horizons? It sounds like to me that is to their detriment. Okay. So, but that's what he said back then. And here we are today. Fast forward, like I told you all on yesterday, Reggie says choices. Absolutely. But here's the thing I want you to pay attention to, because you see, what is Diddy's defense in all of this? In everything that has transpired, what is his defense? Well, I'm so glad you asked. You see, his attorneys are trying to make the argument, or shall I say specifically his attorney, Mark Agnifilo. He's making the argument that everything was consensual. And he keeps talking about there was one victim, and that is Cassie. Okay, so even though she wasn't named in the 14-page indictment, but that's who we would be led to believe that it would be. So that being said, he's saying that it was consensual, that all of these people came to the parties, they had their fun, they did their drugs, they took their alcohol and drank it, or whatever they did was all consensual. Well, here's the problem with that theory. If in fact it was consensual, there would not be all of these victims making accusations that they were assaulted and things were done to them against their will, and that they're in fact, you know, it wouldn't be people saying that they were drugged without their knowledge or consent. Now, if people came there and took the Coca-Cola, the ecstasy, you know, the 2C or whatever, and mixed it with their drinks or whatever they wanted to do, that's one thing. That is consensual. But when you're slipping stuff in people's stuff, that's absolutely illegal. And so it's not consensual. You can't consent to things of which you don't even know are occurring. Now, if we remember and if we believe what Mark Curry, a former Bad Boy artist, said, Mark Curry said that they used to have things in the drinks. He said there would be bottles on the table, and Diddy would let them know that these bottles are for us and these are for them. Now, and in Lil Rodney Jones, aka Lil Rod, in his lawsuit, he said that there were people supplying the things and making sure that things were put into the alcohol, that they were being spiked and people didn't know it. Even Rodney Jones alleges that's what happened to him himself. So this is the illegality of it. And in case anyone's wondering, what are the illegalities? These are the illegalities. You see, some people want to paint the picture that Diddy wasn't doing anything wrong. Diddy was just having a good time and being freaky deaky. And just because he likes to have multiple partners, whether it be male or females, and just because he likes lots of baby oil for his pussy and all of that, so his pussy doesn't get chafed, there's nothing wrong with that. That's what he wants to do. Well, there is something wrong with that. When he's doing these things to people or with people without their knowledge or consent, that they've been given, you know, a little something extra in their drink so that they'll be complicit to do this. And also, there is also the element that if some people were coerced, intimidated, or threatened, or what have you, that's also not people consenting. That's someone under duress. So that's the problem. So his attorney's trying to paint this narrative, and the narrative's not going to work. At the end of the day, the feds have him dead to right. You see, the feds always come correct. Like I told you, I'm losing my head wrap. The feds always come correct, as I have told you all a myriad of times. They're not going to come out here with indictments and all of this. Hold on, guys. Let me fix my rap. They're not going to come out here with all of this stuff that they're saying and with a whole indictment, 14 pages worth of information, if they don't have probable cause or some way to prove that he did something nefarious. If they don't have, in fact, already some evidence that illegal activities absolutely occurred. Do you think the feds will waste all of their time and they would be doing all of this stuff and doing a whole raid, conducting a whole full-on raid on 2 properties? That means they had to get approval from 2 different judges. That means that the judges would have had to just given them the wherewithal to do so without even seeing any evidence that they had a right to do these raids. No, that's not how it works. Okay, so his attorney is grasping at straws. Reggie said they come correct. Exactly. And let's not forget that I told you, I did my research on the Southern District of New York, and they have about a 95 to 99% conviction rate. So they're very good at what they do, is all I'm saying. So with that all being said, Diddy needs to sit down somewhere. I know his attorneys are doing their best that they can do to ensure that he gets off, but he's not getting off. That's what he's not going to do. Now, the question is, are these other people who worked with him going to get any sort of consequences? We know that people worked with him because of all the allegations and lawsuits, and specifically Rodney Jones's lawsuit, where he alleges that people were working with him. And, someone had to be helping him. He could not ever have gotten away with all of these things, alleged things that he's accused of. He could never have gotten away with all of these things by himself. So, of course, there were co-conspirators. Of course, there were people who helped him to cover up things. And there were people who did lots of things for him. But please remember, this is the same thing that happened in R. Kelly's case. Do you all remember how R. Kelly's manager was arrested? And I think he got like 10 to 12 months in jail, in prison or what have you, for threatening and stalking one of the victims. Do you all remember that? So let's talk about it, because what about that private investigator that Diddy allegedly had calling people? Remember, I showed you the video last year or months ago where he was calling the girl on TikTok that was getting a lot of traction for her videos about Diddy, and he was just trying to get her to shut up and telling her she don't really know what she's talking about, and you shouldn't say things to which you don't have proof. Remember, he was telling her all that? And so it was tracked back to the person who was supposed to be Diddy's private investigator. And this is the same person that Rodney Jones alleged was reaching out to people in his circle, including his 8-year-old daughter. And so making, threats and things like that and trying to gather information. This is stalking. This could be harassment. So with that all being said, Diddy seems to be in the same boat that R. Kelly was in. And also let us not forget that this other person who was R. Kelly's executive assistant, and I'm going to show a video of her talking about this in a minute, but R. Kelly's former assistant witnessed a whole lot of things that were going on, and she didn't try to stop it. She didn't do anything. So she too was complicit. Now, the thing about her is she didn't really get any consequences for her actions. So what about Christina Korum and Ethiopia Habtemariam? Specifically, Christina Korum, who was Diddy's chief of staff. Okay, so what all was she getting down with? Because according to that lawsuit by Lil Rod, she was helping him put those stuff in the drinks, and she was writing those checks or wiring that money to make sure the SEX workers got paid. So this is all a criminal enterprise right here. So the thing you have to think about is, if this person, Christina Korum and others who had a similar position or worked with Diddy's staff, if they were doing something so minuscule, even as supplying the drinks, calling people to invite them, even if they weren't doing anything illegal, such as putting stuff in the drinks or forcing people to do anything, at the end of the day, they could still be accused of trafficking, being a co-conspirator, because for one, they knew. You see, if it's proven that there were illegal or underage people there, then they would have known about that. And if they didn't check, or they say they didn't know because they thought the people were of age, well, you didn't check. You didn't check IDs. Didn't they look young? So you didn't do your due diligence. So you're still guilty of being a co-conspirator. So if these people are co-conspirators, then they may have, of course, they'll have the choice, because these investigators, the Homeland Security investigators and the prosecutors, they don't want them. They want Diddy. And then the question becomes, is there a bigger fish to be caught than Diddy? Well, of course there is. People like the ones I've already mentioned, Clive Davis and the rest of them. So, but will those people be caught? Do they want these people? Well, likely not, because these people are rich and powerful, and they have a lot of prestige, and they are well known, and they've been doing what they do for decades. And so these people are not going to get caught up in this web 9 times out of 10, just like these people who were doing whatever with Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein didn't get caught up in it. Those people are still free. Okay, we don't even know for a fact who all of them were.
Now we can speculate because we have pictures of some of them at Epstein's Island, like Prince Andrew, but we don't really know who all was there and who did what. But what we do know is that whoever it was and however many times they went to the island or whatever, we know that they didn't get any consequences. None of those people got arrested and charged. It was only Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. Okay, so please pay attention because that's how it goes. Because even in the case of R. Kelly, some of those parents were complicit. They knew what R. Kelly was doing with their children, and they didn't care because they were so desperate for a bag and fame. And so, with that all being said, some of them should too have been charged. And I said that back then, but they weren't. So, because they only wanted R. Kelly. And who's bigger than Diddy? Most of the people that Diddy was associating with are not bigger than him. But the people that are bigger than him, the big fish, those are the ones that won't get caught. They won't even be brought into this. And one more thing I want to say before I go to this next video is that it's very interesting because the evidence that they have against Diddy is Diddy's own evidence. Now, I want you all to marinate on that for a second because it's really ironic. You see, because Diddy was allegedly having all of this stuff recorded since 1993, having all of these things that he was engaged in recorded so that he could use it later to blackmail people, so that he could keep people in line, so that he could have power and dominance over people and have them doing whatever he said whenever he wanted them to. Hold on, beloveds. And with that all being said, the funny thing is, the same evidence that he had to use against them to hold over them is what has indicted him. I want you all to pay attention. Okay, the videos and the footage and all the stuff that they confiscated from his residences, all of that stuff is the same stuff he was using to blackmail folk, or that he was going to use. The things that he had on them. Even with Cassie. Remember how he was recording the FOs and Cassie said she would delete stuff and then he would say that he still had it. Even if she tried to delete it out of her phone, he still had copies and all of that. So all that stuff is turning now, it's working against him. And I find it very interesting. This is, in my opinion, this is poetic justice. And also this is absolutely crazy. And it's ironic to say the least. Arjumand said, who taught him these skills? I don't know. Maybe the older people that he was dealing with, who knows? But at the end of the day, what I do know is that they're using his own evidence against him because, see, it's already been reported that these people who were on the footage, some of them that are on the footage, they've already sat down and spoken to the feds. So the feds, that is, were able to gather more information against him from his own videos. They were able to go and find people that could tell them what they need to know, right, from the video footage. Because if he didn't have the video footage, who would they go and ask? They wouldn't have any idea who was at those parties. Now, they could look at pictures and video footage of parties and stuff or whatever, but they wouldn't know which group of people were at which party. Were they at the freak-offs or were they at the regular parties? Or did they leave at this time or did they leave at that time? Did they stay or leave before the nefariousness happened? They wouldn't know any of this, except for people coming out telling them, of course, but that would be hearsay. The way they're going to prove all of this is through the video footage. You see, the people can say, well, Diddy did this and Diddy did that. And then Diddy can say he never did it, or his attorneys can argue because Diddy's not going to take the stand. He's not going to take the stand in his own defense in this sort of case. I wouldn't expect anyone to. But his attorneys would make the argument that, they could make the argument that these people are lying. They're just saying whatever. And so then it becomes a game of he said, she said. But the video evidence doesn't lie. The video evidence is going to tell the story. And so all of those videos that Diddy has been recording for decades, Lord help him, that's going to be his undoing, his own nefariousness, okay? That is instant karma. Well, not instant because it's taken years, but that is karma as far as I'm concerned. That is absolutely karma. Reggie said when they were in on Michael Jackson and Ray's Neverland, they found nothing, but Diddy, they found everything. Exactly. They investigated Michael Jackson for about 10 years. And they never found a thing. They finding everything with the Diddy. Okay, so with that all being said, keep that in mind. And also, as I said, about the people who were helping him. See, that's how they got him on the RICO. That's how they were able to say it's a criminal organization, a criminal enterprise, because they were able to gather enough evidence to see that he was being helped. And I'm willing to bet money that the video footage that they had from some of those parties absolutely show Christina Coram and other people like the bodyguards and whoever else, assistants, whoever else were helping put things out, setting up everything, possibly even on footage, putting stuff in the drinks. Who knows exactly what's on there? But they know something. They've seen something that lets them know that he was being helped. Because let's listen again to what the U.S. attorney says.
Conspiracy. He used his business and employees of that business and other close associates to get his way. Those individuals allegedly included high-ranking supervisors in the business, personal assistants, security staff, and household staff. The indictment alleges that those individuals facilitated the freak-offs. They booked the hotel rooms and stocked them with the supplies, including drugs, baby oil, personal lubricant, extra linens, and lighting. Damaged, they helped clean it up. They arranged for victims and commercial sex workers to travel for the freak-offs, and they delivered large quantities of cash to Combs to pay for the commercial sex workers. The indictment also alleges that they helped Combs cover up his crimes. During the March 2016 incident at the LA hotel that I mentioned.
Okay, so you all heard that. So like I told you, they know that people were helping him. Okay, Arjumon said, Diddy better hope the hotels don't have tapes. Okay, Red said, thank you, Queen, for all your hard work. Thank you, beloved. Okay, Odd Negroes Official said, why did Solange beat up Jay-Z? I think we already talked about that some time ago, beloved. Laverne said, I know they did need extra linen. Okay, this is all so nefarious. Okay, so anyway, with that all being said, hold on. New Orleans Yahuwah's daughter says, and his mother Janice should be ashamed of herself. She's too old to be pulling stunts like this with her son. When the head is sick, the whole body is sick. You're absolutely right. And I believe that she was absolutely in on the freak offs. You know, I've shown you all video footage. I'd have to go back to my video and videos at some point and pull it up. But I showed you all footage how she was getting an IV drip with Diddy. And they said that in Cassie's lawsuit, it said that they would take the IV drips after they had days of doing drugs and drinking, and they were dehydrated. So they'd have to rehydrate. And then another witness said the same thing, another victim. So with that all being said, his mother sitting outside in the backyard hydrating with him with the IV. So lady, are you involved in these freak offs? I absolutely believe that she was, because remember in the case against King Combs by Grace O'Mercade, they said in that lawsuit that there was a game they were playing called Carisha Please, and Diddy was dared to pull down his pants and expose himself, and they said his mother Janice was sitting right there beside him. So this is all so crazy. Okay, this is all absolutely crazy. Thank you, Reggie, beloved, for your kind donation to the channel. Peace, love, and blessings. So this is all just ridiculous that this lady's 80-something years old, and she's out here hanging out with her son. And clearly on one video when she was wearing the green dress and she's on the stage with him with the sequins green dress on, it was obvious that she was drunk. Okay, it's obvious that she was drunk during this award ceremony or whatever it was. So, honey, I just want you all to pay attention because this is all crazy. Okay, Dorada said everything slick don't slide. Okay, Arjuma said those poor babies. Right. And so, you know, it's just all a scandal. But here's the thing. His attorney, Mark Agnifilo, said that he's trying to get a speedy trial. He wants this trial to hurry up and come because Diddy is staying at that dirty, filthy jail, and it's inhumane as far as he's concerned. Okay, so let's listen to it. Likes up, everyone, please like and share.
Fight continues. We're not giving up by a long shot. I told Mr. Combs I'm going to try and get his case to trial as quickly as possible. I'm going to try and minimize the amount of time he spends in very, very difficult and I believe inhumane housing conditions in the special housing unit of the Metropolitan Detention Facility, and I'm going to do everything that I can to move his case as quickly as possible.
Okay, I want you all to pay attention. He kept talking about moving the case as quickly as possible. Now, someone said that his mother had on white fingernail polish. Yes, she absolutely did. She absolutely did. And don't forget the part where Diddy said that his mom was single and that he acted as though he was trying to, pimp her out or something when he said that she could touch her toes. And then she's like, yeah, she said palms flat. First of all, who talks like that about their mom? And what type of mother says something like that in front of her son, whether they're an adult or not? Okay, it's all just nasty as far as I'm concerned. And she needs to sit down, and so does Diddy. Okay, and so here's another thing too. We already know they're gathering up all of this evidence on Diddy because his attorney also said, now this was more recently, but his attorney came out and admitted pretty much that they have so much evidence that's electronic on these electronic devices that they have to upload and download and all this stuff. And so that's something that his attorney is waiting for. So they have to pretty much be at the mercy of the prosecution because the prosecution moves at their own pace. The interesting thing about it is the prosecution was investigating Diddy for quite some time. And then when they had the raids, remember what I told you guys. And let's not forget that my uncle used to be a special agent for GBI before he retired, like I told you all. And also he was a case agent for Homeland Security investigations. So he knows all about this stuff. And the thing was, I had asked him why Diddy didn't get arrested immediately after the raids. Because usually when they conduct a raid like that, they usually arrest the person either right then or days after. And he said the reason he wasn't arrested was likely because they were trying to build more cases or gather more information. They're probably trying to gather, of course, more information, not just on him, but on other people to see whether or not they wanted to charge anyone else. And so that goes back to what I also told you guys about when they confiscated all of the electronics and the video footage and all of that stuff. That was them doing a little cleanup job, in my opinion, because they were probably want to watch all of that stuff first so they can see who all is on there and see who all they're going to try to charge, if anybody, or if nobody's going to be charged, or if certain people won't be charged. Okay, so that's how that goes. They did the exact same thing with Jeffrey Epstein. Okay, so I'm going to play a brief clip of his attorney talking about the confiscation of the electronic devices.
I understand that the government has a great amount of electronic devices that they have to download and provide to me. But everything's on the government's timetable. Nothing's on the defendant's timetable. And they're going to have to accommodate me and him and give us a quick trial. And I'm going to be pushing for that.
So again, he wants a quick trial. And also, like I told you all, he said those conditions are inhumane. All right, so please pay attention. Now, with that all being said, let's talk about what else is going down with Diddy. Okay, because here's the thing. Where the hell is Jay-Z? Where is Jay-Z? Okay, I have a whole lot of questions. The likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. Hold on, let me pull this up. Because my thing is, where are any of these people that were his friends? Okay, not just Jay-Z. Where is Leonardo DiCaprio? Where are all these people who are supposed to be so down with Diddy? Okay, I have questions. So let's talk about it. Because they also say that Diddy is desperate at this point or for crisis management. They say he needs a crisis management team. And where's Jay-Z? Okay, so I just find it all interesting. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. So let's talk about it. They say on Wednesday, Sean Diddy Combs is long-suffering and loyal to a fault publicist. Natalie Moore quit her position. She was his mouthpiece for all these years, okay? For probably about 2 decades, I do believe. And so she just quit. Now, several crisis management PR teams have been contacted by Diddy or people on his behalf since early this year and late last year, after Diddy settled with former lover Cassie for all those allegations. Now, as one major crisis management head who represents household names, what they basically said was, I wasn't going to touch Diddy with a 10-foot pole. No way. Okay? Nobody wants to be associated with him. So he's not going to get any crisis management team, apparently. Now, one of the issues that the PR people that they had wasn't that Diddy was in trouble for grotesque charges, though that is a factor, I'm sure. But they say that he had a very well known and well earned reputation for being a horrible boss and abusive to his employees. So no one wants to work with him, not just because of his nefarious case and allegations against him, but because he's a nasty person. He's not a nice individual. They've heard all the stories of how he talks crazy, curses out, threatens, intimidates, puts hands on all of these people that have worked for him, allegedly. So no, these people don't want to work for him. So I find it all very interesting. Now they say hours after they were informed that Moore had quit, who has worked with Diddy mostly on, but sometimes off over 2 decades, that Diddy was seeking alternative help. Now, it seems the Australian PR woman had had enough and announced that she no longer wanted to rep the rapper. I mean, just imagine. Can you blame her? Just imagine you trying to make things look okay. You trying to fix things for somebody with this terrible reputation. But meanwhile, they're bashing you, cursing you out, threatening to go upside your head, even perhaps, who knows what else. But at the end of the day, yeah, I would have quit too. Okay, they said Moore didn't return any calls or texts for comment. Now, Diddy, who had already shrunk her fee several times. That's another thing. He doesn't want to pay these people. He wants people to do what he wants, and he wants people to bend to his will and all of that. But you don't want to pay these people. So who does he think they are? Slaves? Is he a plantation owner? Is he an overseer? Because that's what he acts like. But now the overseer is being overseen. Okay, please pay attention. Now, with that all being said, he'd already shrank her fee several times and was likely to pay the big powerhouse PR teams, whatever they asked for. Their crisis rate is usually somewhere, if memory serves me correct, about $30,000 a month. About $30,000 a month. Okay, so probably almost as much as his attorneys. Well, I wouldn't say almost, but probably a quarter of what his attorneys are charging him monthly. So anyway, I just find it all very interesting because Diddy just brought this all on himself. Now I'm going to go to this video footage when they're talking about, let me make sure this is it. Yeah, when they're talking about what's Diddy's defense. Okay, what is Diddy's defense? Now, I told you guys, in my opinion, his defense is they're going to say that it's all consensual because they already said it. That's what his attorney keeps saying. He was just, they're just having a good time. And then we see all the stuff about the baby oil, you know what I'm saying? So it seems like people just having a good old time, but not so fast. Okay, so I'm going to play this video because they came out with this, I believe, right after he was denied bail. Okay, so likes up, everyone, please like and share.
Specifically based on something that happened to your sister in the music industry. Is this a common practice in the music industry?
Yeah, unfortunately, and thank you for having me on. Unfortunately, it's common practice in our culture today. Sex trafficking is rampant in the United States, both domestic and international sex trafficking. In this case, like in my sister's case, the music industry is involved. There are many, many people involved here. Many were at the freak parties. If we go back historically, we need to look at record label executives that funded some of these endeavors. And then we know that at times there may or may not have been minors involved. And when you get to force, fraud, coercion with minors, you do not have to prove force, fraud, and coercion if minors are involved. It's 18 and over. So it's interesting to see if prosecution is going to dive into, the world of whether minors were ever involved. And then plaintiffs coming forward, more plaintiffs coming forward. And to Molly's point, it could be the straw that breaks the camel's back here. It's building a case. You've got that video. He's admitting, look, that's me in the video. And then you start building the case like we saw with Virginia Giuffre in the Epstein case. So let's see if other plaintiffs come forward. But I'm particularly interested to know whether minors were present when there was trafficking involved, because that is a game changer.
Let me
Okay, so that's very interesting because at the end of the day, like I told you all, or I meant to tell you guys, that Absolutely. When I was talking about the minors being present and the people that were working for Diddy and with Diddy, would they not have known these were minors? If they didn't know, it would have been up to them to find out, to ask questions, okay? Specifically for Diddy to do so, because it was his property where these things were being held. And sometimes it may have been at other places and spaces, but still, it was up to the people there, the adults, the ones who were throwing the party, the ones who were there putting out the drinks and all of that, the people who were working with Diddy, because they're an enterprise, they're an organization. It would have been up to them to find out whether there were minors involved. And if they were, they don't have to prove certain things. They don't have to prove force or coercion if there were minors. So at the end of the day, Diddy's in for a treat. Okay, but I'm going to go back to that video because I forgot to let you all see the clip that he played with Diddy's attorney speaking again.
And basically laying out what the defense is going to be is number 5.
There's no coercion, there's no crime. There's basically just someone who brought a civil case and now is finding themselves as a witness in a criminal case. And we're going to fight this case with everything we have, as is he, and eventually he's going to be shown to be innocent.
Molly, it sounds like the defense is no.
Okay, so I'm telling you, that's what the attorney has been saying, that there's no coercion. There's no, it was all consensual, was it? And it doesn't matter if these people were minors were there, if they consented, because that's not even important. Okay, because minors can't really consent because it's illegal for what they were doing, for what has been alleged that they were doing. So I find it all very interesting, like I said. Now, when Diddy is not having this, he's not able to get a crisis management team, that's when you start asking, well, where are all his friends? What about your friends? Okay. Where are Jay-Z and Beyonce? Okay. Where's Leonardo DiCaprio? And speaking of Leonardo DiCaprio, well, hold on, because here's what they say about Jay-Z. They say, hold on. Okay, Rodney Jones, Combs' former bodyguard. First of all, that's not his bodyguard, that's the producer, but let me continue. Released a rant on X talking about how he had been at a party with Diddy and Mill, how the drinks were spiked, and what happened after. In the video, which contains a disturbing audio tape, Jones claims, I don't drink and said he don't drink and smoked his own marijuana. So while everyone was passed out or chose or close to it, he made an audio recording through the door. A rep for Mill didn't return emails. So do I remember that? Do you all remember this? I mean, the lawsuit was kind of lengthy, but I went through it a while ago. I do remember him saying he recorded something. So anyway, so he recorded it. Now pay attention because see, that is likely going to be used against Diddy, like I told you all, his own evidence. Okay, and remember, Diddy's the one who told Rodney Jones to record everything. I mean, Rodney said that sometimes Diddy would be taking a shower and call him into the bathroom with him and tell him to keep recording. Okay, so this is all crazy. But meanwhile, whispers about Diddy's BFF Jay-Z have been the past few months. About how quiet he's been the past few months, but the whispers are getting louder. Okay, Jay-Z and his wife Beyonce have been noticeably silent about their former friend and are laying low while their pal battles it out. Possibly, as mentioned in the past, they don't want any questions about their own part or what they know and when they knew it. This is all a hot mess, okay? I just want you all to pay attention. But did Nicki Minaj hint to Jay-Z saying something about it or being involved? Nicki Minaj slams Jay-Z over title deal. Ask rapper, did you know about Diddy's abuse scandal? That's what Nicki said. She has questions for Jay-Z. Nicki didn't hold back when setting the record straight about her part in Jay-Z's music streaming service sale of Tidal, claiming that both he and Steve Stout are spreading lies. Well, that's interesting because Dame Dash also said they were spreading lies, but we'll talk about that in another live. Now, record exec Stout alleged earlier this month that Jay-Z gave Minaj equity in Tidal prior to its sale in 2021. Stout claimed that during the Pivot podcast on Friday, September the 20th, that Minaj didn't sign the effing paperwork. That's the reason why you left millions of dollars on the table. He further alleged that Jay-Z didn't do nothing to you. Okay, so talking slick. Now, Minaj, however, remembered the Tidal deal differently, alleging in a series of tweets on Saturday, September 21st, that she was told they made no money on the deal, so all they could offer her was $1 million. And so she went on to say that the lawyer advised her to sign the agreement in 24 hours if she wanted $1 million or the offer was off the table. She says she didn't take the deal, telling her followers that she was scammed and offered $1 million in an attempt to be silenced. Minaj continued to comment on the sales scandal after seeing the story that claimed she was one of 16 Tidal co-owners who reportedly received $8.9 million in a payout at the time. Okay. Square co-founder Jack Dorsey, who used to own Twitter, okay, he paid $297 million in cash and stocks for a significant majority of Tidal back in 2021. Now, every day, a new man pushing 60 years of age gets fingered in the bussy, then made to come to the internet and lie on me. This is what Nicki said. She said every day a new man pushing 60 years of age gets fingered in his bussy, then comes and made to come to this internet to lie on me before advising Steve and Jay-Z to never mention her name again. Minaj went on to claim that the reason Jay-Z and Stout, who is the CEO of United Masters and close friend of Jay-Z's, the reason they turned the focus on her is so that no one asked about these charges against their BFF, Diddy. So Nicki is saying that they're using her as a scapegoat. They're just trying to bring that into focus to deflect and gaslight so they don't have to answer any questions about what's going on with Diddy and why they're so quiet about it. Please pay attention. And so anyway, this is all crazy. And so with that all being said, it seems the 30-year-old T here is far from stale. Patterns, yet sass, ugly, alien stout, D breath. And I'm talking about D like a cucumber. She said that's what she called him, D breath, etc. All talking about Onika. Why are they talking about Oniqua? This is what she says. She alleged that, and then she says, on Saturday, once again, talking about Diddy and his inner circle. Okay, that's what she posted on Saturday on X, on X, talking about him and his inner circle. Now, she alleged that undercover men are always aggravated with women because they have decided that they can't live in their truth. So she's calling Jay-Z down low, him and Stout and Diddy. Okay, Minaj then questioned whether Stout and Jay-Z had any knowledge of Diddy's past abuse as they continued to slam her for the Tidal deal. She said, "We want to know if you were present during abuse of teenagers and children." Ooh, she's trying to liken them to PDF files like Drake. Please pay attention. That's what we want to know, she says. Did you know the abuse to Kim Porter and Cassie? Oh, y'all seem to always run in a sort of rat pack. Nicki is going in. Okay? This is all so crazy. And so anyway, with that all being said, I just want you all to pay attention because Nicki was letting them have it. She was letting them have it, y'all. Okay, Jabber in New York said Nicki is correct about the DL guy. Absolutely, beloved. Absolutely. Jay Gray said she exposed Meek getting drilled by Diddy. You know, they said that was AI generated. I don't think Nicki put that out. They said it was AI generated. Hey, I don't know. Don't even get me started. Okay? So anyway, now let's talk about Leonardo DiCaprio, who is Diddy's longtime bestie. Okay? You remember, I showed you all the video the other day where they asked Diddy, who's definitely getting an invite to the party. And he said, I was about to say Da Vinci. He said Leonardo DiCaprio. let's just go back to the footage for those of you who missed it because you were not present at the time. Okay? Likes up, everyone, please. Like and share. Thank you in advance. Hold on. Let me see if I can find that video real quick. I know I should have it hanging around here somewhere. Likes up, everyone, please. Like and share. Thank you in advance. Here we go. Yeah, I still have the footage. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen because Leonardo said, honey, don't come calling on me. Diddy who? I'm out of here. Nobody wants to be associated with Diddy. Please pay attention. Hold on, let me wait for this to cue. Hold on.
That invitation list.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
And I can get on that list.
Yeah.
Who's the person that's number one on that invitation list?
Leonardo DiCaprio.
And I can get on that list,
Yes,
right?
without a doubt, you are invited.
Y'all heard him. He said, without a doubt, you are invited. Okay, but Leonardo doesn't want to be invited, honey, right about now. Leonardo said, leave my name out of your mess, okay? Because he's trying to distance himself from Diddy, and rightfully so, as are many people. There he is at the white party. Pay attention. I'm sure that's not the only one that he went to because he was invited to them all as a special guest. Now, what was really going on with him and Diddy is what I would like to know. I hope that footage comes out. That'll be all so nefarious. Now, exclusive. Leonardo DiCaprio breaks his silence on hanging out with Sean Diddy Combs as picture emerges of him at notorious white party. You see how I keep telling you guys that everybody's late to the party, that the queen already be having this information because that picture right there, I had that picture months ago and used it in my little video that I showed at the beginning, remember? So that was on to say that a source close to the Hollywood actor said that he hadn't had anything to do with Diddy for years. What? Are y'all hearing this? Said he hasn't had anything to do with Diddy for years. Okay, so after Diddy's arrest and indictment by the Southern District of New York on charges of, we already know, they say the rapper is accused of forcing women. Okay, skip past all of that. So Leonardo DiCaprio wants us to think that he ain't seen Diddy in years. So there was a publication of a re-emerged picture showing DiCaprio laughing and smoking at Diddy's notorious white parties. Okay, that was in 1998 at his East Hampton home. So he now says that he hasn't been there for years or he hasn't seen Diddy or whatever. I don't believe it because when did that video come out? Okay, that video is old, but I don't think it's 1998 old. That's all I'm saying. Now, Diddy once declared the Titanic star as the number one person on his white party invitation list. Other stars to have been hosted by Diddy include Kim Kardashian, Paris Hilton, and Mariah Carey. So, however, a source close to the A-lister says that Leo has not been in contact with Diddy for years, saying he never attended freak-offs and has nothing to do with the case. I'd be saying the same thing. Now, the pair were pictured together in public. The pair were pictured together in public at the Democratic National Convention on July the 29th of 2004. The Great Gatsby actor was also seen dancing beside Diddy at his 50th birthday party. Okay. I just want y'all to pay attention. That was in 2019. Matter of fact, that was in 2020. They got 2019, but I think it was in 2020. No, actually it was. It was probably the end of 2019. Yeah, because Diddy's birthday is in November. So yeah, it was 2019. November the 4th, 2019. Here's the thing. That is also in the video. Okay. I have footage of that. So, Leonardo, what are you talking about? Okay. Are you talking about since that party? You haven't talked to him? Now, I'm sorry, but please pay attention. If he was at Diddy's party in 1998, let's make it all make sense to see if we can figure out if Leonardo's lying or not, allegedly. So, if we're to believe, as they say, that Leonardo DiCaprio, that picture of him in the all white at the all white party was in 1998. Okay, that's what, 26 years ago? Almost 30 years ago. So then he was at Diddy's 50th birthday party, which was only 4 years ago in 2019. So they've been friends from 1998 to 2019. Okay, but he hasn't seen Diddy in years. So did he not see him since the birthday party? I have questions. Leonardo DiCaprio has absolutely nothing to do with any of this, they say. He attended a few of his parties back in the early 20s, in the early 2000s, but literally everyone did. No, literally everyone didn't. Okay, sit down somewhere. Now, they were not freak offs. Yeah, they weren't initially freak offs. The freak offs started later. Remember the video that I showed you all yesterday where Diddy's out there on the balcony bragging about the party and how it's about to go down, and then saying that the kids have about an hour or two left and then they got to go, and then reminded the kids that, hey, someday y'all are going to want to come to this. That's when the freak offs got started, when the kids left. Pay attention. Now, he says there were big house parties. Leo was at the start of his career at the time and has moved way past this party. And no, he hasn't. How are they expecting us to believe this when he was literally at Diddy's 50th birthday party and Diddy's only 54? So when did he stop hanging around Diddy? I'm so glad you asked. He likely stopped hanging around Diddy after Cassie's lawsuit came out. He likely stopped hanging around Diddy when Cassie's lawsuit came out. And let's not forget, in 2020, during the pandemic, Diddy was doing those parties online where he was calling up other actors and actresses and adding them to the live. Now, I don't know if he called Leonardo because I didn't see the whole thing, but I remember him calling people like LeBron, J-Lo, the black model that has vitiligo. I remember her being on there and many other people. Okay, so I'm sorry. Please sit down somewhere, Leonardo DiCaprio, because you know darn well you've still been friends with Diddy. Now, he has nothing to do with any of that world. So for anyone to assume that he will get roped into this biased, that he will get roped into this biased on a few grainy photos that are more than 20 years old is ridiculous. Well, guess what? That video of him dancing with Diddy at his 50th birthday party, that's not 20 years old. Okay? That's not 20 years old. All right? So please make it all make sense. Here's the picture right here. Like, sit down somewhere. Here is the picture right here with him getting his groove on just a few years ago. Okay, there is Leonardo DiCaprio. Y'all see him. Looks like that's Kim Kardashian across from him. And there's the caption, Leo was seen dancing at the music mogul's 50th birthday party celebration in 2019. And this is the video y'all saw yesterday. Let me just play this again for those who missed it.
That don't mean y'all should be extra tight. Okay, we gonna have DJ Cassidy right now get on the ones and twos. We fed y'all, we gave y'all some drinks. Now it's time to enjoy life. This is a celebration of life. This is a legendary white party. It's the real white party. Make some noise if you've been here before. Okay. And to all the kids have like an hour left. So get extra comfortable, kids, because after that, y'all gotta go. It's a wrap for y'all, because this thing turns into something that when y'all get older, y'all don't want to come to. Okay? So, you know, let's just start to get our groove on a little bit. In an hour, we put the kids away. It's all good. All right, DJ, let's hit it. Let's do it. Come on.
Okay, thank you for the super sticker donation. Pretty ugly things, beloved. I appreciate you. Okay, so y'all see that. Y'all see that, okay, at the end of the day, they trying to act like Leonardo didn't have nothing to do with it. He didn't have any, and I want you all to pay attention to how many times that they kept reiterating. Okay, they just kept reiterating it. Oh, he didn't have anything to do with it. He didn't have anything to do with that world. He didn't have anything to do with partying. His partying days are over. They sounded like they were literally doing a promo. Like, are they his campaign managers? I mean, they just kept reiterating that he had nothing to do with it, which further makes me think that he had something to do with it. Okay. And then talk about that was at the beginning of his career. Yeah, that picture in 1998 was definitely at the beginning of his career. That's back when he played in that movie, What's Eating Gilbert Grape, if I'm not mistaken, sometime after that. But I'm sorry, that 50th birthday party, honey, he was right there at the end of the day. And that wasn't that long ago. Okay. That wasn't that long ago. And do you all remember Diddy's daughter? You all remember Diddy's little white daughter that he adopted? Where is she at? Let's go back to that. Because y'all remember I did a whole video digging up the receipts.
Ava. I'm a Scorpio.
No. What's your last name?
Ava Combs.
What's your other last name?
Ava Baroni.
Ava Baroni Combs? Yes, it's breaking news. Diddy adopted a white child. I want you to tell them the story about how I adopted you. But you still have beautiful parents but you're my child also. But please tell the story.
So, I was on the streets, and then Papa Combs decided that he would like to be a caring man. So then he saw me and decided to pick me up and said to come inside and play with his kids.
That's like a little bit like borderline suspect. I don't want nobody. We want to get it clear. I adopted you like Madonna adopted kids and everybody else adopted kids. Charlize Theron, everybody that's ever adopted Sandra Bullock. I adopted you because I felt that you could, enjoy also having a black parent to take care of you and help you out. So, just clarify it because it's crazy out here online. So I played with the kids and I got permission from your mother and say all of that just make it because it's crazy out here.
Well, I met Jesse and Delilah when I was 6 months old.
6 months.
And then we basically are sisters, all four of us. So. And then I always come over.
Yes. And it's Ava Baroni Combs. Come on. Let's go.
Okay, so Diddy had to set the record straight. And let me tell you something. First of all, anybody watching that, AJ Matthews said so disturbing. Yeah, it is now in hindsight, right? Anyone that was watching that back in 2020 before all these nefarious allegations came out probably wouldn't have thought anything. Would have just thought that he just adopted a child. But at the end of the day, now that we know what we know and in hearing all of the allegations, it all makes sense as to why Diddy wanted Ava Baroni Combs to clear it all up. But my question is, where is Ava Baroni Combs at right now? Is she back with her regular parents, her birth parents or whatever? Her biological parents, shall I say? Okay. I'm going to repost that video where I did a deep dive into Ava Baroni Combs for those of you who missed it. But I just want y'all to pay attention. I want you all to pay attention. So anyway, with that all being said, Jay-Z, Beyonce, and a myriad of others, and definitely Leonardo DiCaprio, who was once a good longtime friend of Diddy's, apparently want nothing to do with him, and neither does Meek Mill. Now Meek Mill's out here offering $100,000 for investigators to come forward and find out a link between him and Diddy's case. You know what? I think that I should take him up on that offer because I have a link to him and Diddy's case. I have a link, Meek Mill. Okay, so let me just collect that money real quick. So anyway, he needs to sit down somewhere is all I'm saying. Now, and like I told you guys, many people are shaking in their boots. Many people are very scared right about now. Okay, so let's talk about it. Lights up, everyone, please like and share. Let's get into it because some of these people are quite frankly worried. Okay, hold on. Let me pull up my receipt. Now, after Sean Diddy Combs is arrested in New York City on Tuesday, some of Hollywood's biggest stars have weighed in, whilst others, including former and current friends of Diddy's, have remained silent out of fear, according to legal experts. The music mogul was charged with racketeering conspiracy. We already know the charges. He faces a minimum of 15 years behind bars and a maximum sentence of life in prison if found guilty. That being said, while the high-profile case has sparked responses from 50 Cent, Aubrey O'Day, Kesha, remember Kesha took his name, she changed up his name in her song, where she would say something like, wake up on something feeling like P. Diddy, and then now she says, wake up feeling like F. P. Diddy. Okay, so nobody wants anything to do with him. They don't want to touch him with a 10-foot pole. Okay, as well as Kesha, Mary J. Blige, and more. Others who have been tied to Diddy in the past are Jennifer Lopez, Naomi Campbell, Ashton Kutcher, and Jay-Z, none of whom are implicated in the criminal case, but yet have been notably quiet. So celebrities are silent because they're scared to death of their brands bleeding out with fans over ties to Diddy. And worse, they fear if they cross him, things could end in disaster. This is what Eric Schiffer, CEO of Reputation Management Consultants, said. Okay, this is a man who's a consultant, now a management consultant for like your reputation and things like that. So Doug Eldridge, founder of the Achilles PR, said there's no shortage of reasons that Diddy's acquaintances haven't weighed in. Okay, outside of 50 Cent, the overwhelming majority of the music and entertainment industry have either remained inconspicuously silent or spoken only in hushed tones regarding the rumors. And now, federal indictment being put out there surrounding Diddy, yeah, it's not a good look. And they say, given the severity of the charges, the detailed allegations in the indictment, and the long-standing rumors surrounding Diddy in the first place, there's no shortage of reasons why celebrities would choose to remain silent for the time being. But here are a few. First off, the nature of the allegations are fairly gruesome. Okay, these are heinous and nefarious and egregious things that people are accusing him of. That's why, for the life of me, I can't figure out why some people are trying to say that he didn't do anything illegal. He's just being freaky. There's a whole lot of things that he did illegal if what we're to believe the witnesses say and the victims say is true. And I absolutely believe it. Okay, that these things that are alleged, these things are criminal. Okay, forcing people to have relations with not only him, but with his friends. You know, having people to have group sex when they don't want to, with multiple people at once, putting things in people's drinks, intimidating and threatening. Who blows up somebody's car and gets away with it? Who blew up that car? We know Diddy didn't go out there with a can of gasoline or a Molotov cocktail and drop it down the sunroof like they said it was done. Diddy didn't do that himself. He got somebody to do it, if it's true. And we pretty much know it's true because he said it out of his mouth that he was going to blow up the car and the car got blown up. How many cars get blown up? Okay. So who did Diddy get to do that? He was getting people to do dirt. He was getting other people to do his dirt, and they were being paid to do so. Some of those same people are going to testify against him when his ace goes to court. Okay? Because they don't want to, they don't want to get in trouble. So what they're going to do is they're going to testify against Diddy for immunity. Okay? So they don't get prosecuted for their crimes. That's why I keep talking about these unindicted co-conspirators. They don't want to be indicted, so they're going to snitch real quick. Some of them are already doing that right now as we speak. So the scope and scale of the evidence that was collected during the federal raid included phones, computers, and now more than 50 individuals who are reportedly cooperating with the feds as witnesses. Now, the third thing is, and that was the second thing, the scale of the evidence, okay, that was collected. It's a dead giveaway. Like I told you, his same evidence that he gathered to use against others is now being used against him, unfortunately for him. Now, the third thing is the purported depth and reach of those who might be complicit. Like, are these powerful people who have, so much to lose? Are these people who are higher ranking on the totem pole of the hierarchy than Diddy? Yes, some of them are. And therefore compromised. Okay, are these people who might be complicit and therefore compromised? Okay, are they going to be charged? Likely not, like I told you. Now, for having participated in Diddy's illicit sex parties, right? And, it's pretty much a staggering amount of people that were involved in this stuff, I'm sure. Okay, so, and here's a list of stars who haven't spoken out about the indictment. First off, there's Jennifer Lopez. And then there's, of course, Jay-Z and Beyonce. There's Ashton Kutcher. There's Naomi Campbell. She hasn't said a word. I haven't even seen or heard from her. Okay. The ones that have spoken out, Aubrey O'Day, 50 Cent, Shine. Okay. Kesha. Mary J. Blige. Remember, Mary was smart. Mary came out early on when this stuff started flowing after the first few, allegations came out with those lawsuits. Mary said that she's fine, and I'm paraphrasing, but she said something along the lines of she's fine with burning bridges or something like that. She shared a cryptic post on Twitter, if you remember, or X. It's so. Oh, here it is right here. In March, after Diddy's homes were raided during a federal investigation, the Grammy winner Mary J. Blige took to Instagram to share a cryptic message that said, "Unfortunately, a lot of you all met me when I lacked boundaries and was a people pleaser. Let me reintroduce myself. I burn bridges as needed." So, yeah, Mary did speak out in an attempt to separate herself from Diddy. So her connection to Diddy goes back decades. Let's not forget. Her first two albums was the 411 and My Life were both produced by him in the early 90s. Now, Diddy appeared in Manhattan Federal Court Tuesday. Of course, we know about that. And he didn't get his bail. So, it's looking hard out here for Diddy. Nobody's got his back. And you all think about, hold on. Pretty Ugly Thing says Diddy could have been as a child. That's where his behavior stems from. Nope, I'm not going for it. No, and no. Nothing happened to Diddy when he was a child that makes him behave this way. Now, that's R. Kelly's story. But they had people come out and say that happened to R. Kelly. His own brother said it, that the sister did it. That his own sister did it when he was 6. So I can have empathy for R. Kelly because people who abuse his kids sometimes grow up to, in fact, be abusers. That doesn't mean they don't know what they're doing is wrong, because they absolutely do. But Diddy, there was no evidence. Let's not make up excuses for him. There was no evidence. There's never been any suggestion or anything to make anyone assume or think or believe that Diddy had anything done to him as a child. Okay. At the end of the day, Diddy's done these things because that's who he is. He's a freak. Okay. If we want to give Diddy the grace by saying that, then should we say that everybody who messes with children or who's accused of messing with children was likely messed with themselves when they were a child? No. Some people are just sick. Diddy is just sick as far as I'm concerned. Because here's the thing. How do we know he's sick? Well, because all of these people that were interviewed by Rolling Stone, like I told you guys, over 50 of them, these people basically were talking about how he's always been abusive. His name was Puff Daddy because when he was a kid, he would get so angry and go into a rage and he would huff and puff. Okay, like Puff the Magic Dragon. So with that all being said, he got that name because he was nefarious. And if you were nefarious as a child and you wanted to wield your power, your tantrums and all of these things to get what you wanted to throw a whole hissy fit, that's what he still does. We've seen the video footage of Diddy throwing a whole tantrum. We've seen video footage of him saying, "I get what I want. Nobody tells me no." We've seen it. I've shown it to you. So with that all being said, I'm sorry, but I think he was already nefarious. Okay, I think he's just been that way. Diddy is a sociopath. And also from the people that he deals with in Hollywood and the music industry, a lot of those people do those things. So if you're hanging around with people who do those things, it's part of the initiation, quite frankly. That's what people have alleged. I can't substantiate it, but people have quite frankly said that some of these things that Diddy's accused of is all part of how it goes down to get to where you want to be. Okay, Jabber in New York says both R. Kelly and Sean Combs' issue is all about them being bi, period. Yes, I believe it too. That's the thing. But see, here's the thing. I believe that R. Kelly is bi because he had his sister doing nefarious things to him. You see, when somebody is done like that as a child, that could literally make them hate the opposite sex. Okay, it could make them hate. I didn't mean to say that word, but anyway, that could make them hate the opposite gender. Because this person did this to me when I was little, and I always remember that. And then so now they like the same. And so I think that's what happened with R. Kelly. That's why he's bi. That's just my opinion. But most people who say they're bi really are just gay. And specifically men who say that. They just say that to cover it all up. So it looks like, hey, I just like both, or because that sounds better to them, I guess, than to say that they're gay, or they'll just be on the down low. Now, with Diddy, I think that he got that way because they say that his mother, Janice, it has been alleged, as I told you all before, that his mother, Janice, told him that, to deal with those older white men who had the power and privilege so he can get where he wants to be. How else do you think Diddy got $100 million from Ronald Burkle to start up Sean John? Who's just going around here passing out $100 million? Okay. Priscilla said, I didn't know R. Kelly liked me. And yes, it was all up in the information that he had a boyfriend that was light-skinned with hazel eyes. He was a tattoo artist or a barber or something like that. He was like a regular Joe Schmo. Yeah, that was alleged. Okay, so at the end of the day, it's all nefarious. Okay, OG Quincy Jones said it's going to get worse. Yeah, more stuff's coming out. Deronda said exactly, Queen. And here's the thing. I want you all to pay attention because remember I told you guys that his attorney keeps saying, it's only one victim in the 14-page indictment. First of all, we were all waiting for a much more detailed and thorough indictment with much more charges. That's what I was waiting for, and I think most people were. When that indictment came out, I said, wait a minute, this is all they got? Like, where's the rest of it? Where's the meat and potatoes? Now, mind you, the whole thing about the guns, now the reason that's a problem, the reason the whole thing about the guns is a problem, thank you, beloved, said Queen, be on it. The reason the whole thing about the guns is the problem is because at the end of the day, they were found in his bedroom. So that's personal property. If the guns had been found at one of his companies, one of the offices or whatever, maybe one of the bodyguards had them or whatever, then the argument could be that, okay, these were being used for protection when we travel or this, that, and the third. They could have at least tried to make that, and it would have made them less culpable. But by the fact that these guns that had the serial numbers erased from them were found in his home, in his bedroom, well, that's what got him in trouble for that. Because if it's in your bedroom, you can't tell us nothing other than it was for nefarious purposes. Okay, when you scraped off the serial numbers, in fact. Okay, so I just want you all to pay attention. But at the end of the day, here's the thing. There can be another indictment coming because remember what U.S. Attorney Damian Williams said. This is an ongoing investigation. They've been investigating other people. They've been gathering up witnesses, getting other victims. They're still waiting for people to come forward. This is going to be kind of dragged out. And so Diddy's going to be sitting in jail for a long time unless his attorneys can actively get him, bail, which I don't think they're ever going to be able to do. This is going to be dragged out because, in fact, they're already putting out the information or have already put out that if anyone knows anything about the case, please come forward. And they put out the little Crime Stopper number or whatever for people to call. So they're waiting on more people to come forward. And the more people that come forward, the longer it's going to take for the case to go to trial because they have to keep gathering information. Let's not forget that its attorney also said that they have so many videos and so much evidence to go through. And they clearly haven't gone through it all. And I want you all to pay attention because that's crazy. They've had this evidence since March when they conducted the raids March 25th. And here we are in September and they haven't gone through all of it. How do we know? Because his attorney said so. That's why his attorney doesn't have it. You see, it's something called discovery. When you're going to court, you have to give the opposing counsel the same evidence that you have that you're going to use against them. They have to know what you're going to use against them so that they know how to counter the accusations. And so the fact that they haven't even given Mark Agnifilo any of the footage or any of the things that's come off of the videos, he said on the video that I showed you today, he literally said because they are working on their own time. And so the defense is at their mercy because all they can do is wait. Because he said they've got so much video footage from all the electronic devices. So at the end of the day, this is all bad for Diddy. I just want you all to pay attention. My aunt Egypt said Diddy probably has videos dating back 30 years. Yes, he does. I told you guys that he started recording himself and all that he was doing 1993. Since 1993, I showed you a video where a white guy was saying it. Remember, I showed you yesterday where the white guy was saying that Diddy told him years ago that he should record everything that he does. He said Diddy told him that Diddy told him that he had been recording himself since 1993. So yes, that's a whole lot of footage is all I'm saying. Not to mention they had 250 cameras and these cameras were recorded at multiple angles. So they have to go through all of this stuff. So the people that they've reached out to that were in the video footage, that's not even all of them because they haven't gone through all of it. So here's my point in saying all of this. I want you all to pay attention because I told you all days ago, which nobody seems to be mentioning, I told you all days ago that there could be more charges against Diddy. You see, there could be a superseding indictment. There could be another indictment that comes out that supersedes the current indictment. The current indictment could be dismissed because they have a new indictment with more charges. Or the current indictment could in fact be amended, like they amend a lawsuit filing. And then new charges could be added. And that's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen 9 times out of 10 because this isn't just it. The more people they speak with, the more people that come forward, they're likely going to have a superseding indictment, okay? And so please pay attention, all right? And like I told you guys, I know all of these things because I went to school for criminal justice, all right? And I graduated with honors, by the way. So with that all being said, it's just all bad for Diddy, okay? Diddy was living a whole hidden lifestyle. He had a whole secret side that many people, specifically his fans, didn't know anything about. And so let's talk about some of the stuff. Let's talk about these sex parties, the spiked drinks, adult entertainers, all of the sordid, nefarious details of it. Let's talk about it. Because remember what Andrea English said in her lawsuit filing, and she only worked for him for 4 years, from 2004, I think, 2005 to 2009. Okay, so they talk about Diddy's parties being notorious. Now, you heard the legal expert today that I played for you. You heard the legal expert say that Diddy's parties were the worst kept secrets, not the best. They were the worst kept secrets. Okay, and then they were exclusive. These events were exclusive. They attracted celebrities, people of influence and power, very high profile guests. So, do you think these people want to be associated with Diddy right now? You think these people want their name anywhere near him? But unfortunately for them, they were being recorded unbeknownst to them. And so they're on the footage, some of them, and there's no telling who all's on there and what all they were seen doing. Now, the parties were known for their extravagant nature, with Diddy famously playing the role of the ultimate host. Has anybody ever seen that movie with Jim Caviezel? Once in the chats, if you've ever seen the movie with Jim Caviezel, the guy who played Passion of the Christ, once in the chat, if you've ever seen that movie that he played in called The Count of Monte Cristo, once in the chat. The Count of Monte Cristo, that's literally one of my favorite movies, and definitely the story was one of my favorite books. So, Intuitive Empress says yes, you've seen it. Okay, Mr. Elevation, some of y'all saying y'all saw it. So here's what I want you all to think about. Remember when Edmond Dantes in that movie, before he got revenge on everybody, remember how Edmond Dantes, and just so you all know, I just want to give you a piece of Black history moments. A Black man wrote that book, the same Black man who wrote The Three Musketeers, okay? Alexander Dumas, okay? So anyway, back to what I was saying. Remember the scene where Edmond Dantes got out of prison and then he went and got the treasure and now he's all rich and everything. And then he changed his name from Edmond Dante to the Count of Monte Cristo. And he threw this extravagant party at this beautiful mansion that he purchased. And at that mansion, he came out on the balcony and then he was lowered down, amongst the guests by these things they had floating or whatever, something like that. I remember him coming out on the balcony and speaking to everyone, announcing himself. He sent out these fancy invitations with the gold seals. He had the acrobats and the people doing all sorts of twists and turns through the air, fireworks and all of that. I mean, it was just really extravagant, right? That's who Diddy's parties remind me of when I look at the video footage. Very extravagant. Diddy coming out to the balcony, like on the video I just showed you today and yesterday, with him announcing that the kids have to leave, telling the DJ what to play and all of that. Same way as the Count of Monte Cristo. And I, in fact, believe that Diddy thinks that's who he is. I think that Diddy thinks that he is the Count of Monte Cristo. Okay, I'm serious here. I think that he saw that movie and he started doing his parties like that. He was already having these extravagant parties since the 90s. But in the 2000s, they amped up and they got even more extravagant. And I think that he literally believes, or at one point believed, that he was like the Count of Monte Cristo. Okay, and if he still thinks that, woe be unto ye who tried to cross him. Because what did the Count of Monte Cristo do? What was the movie about? What was the book about? It is the story of the greatest story of revenge. Okay, that is literally the greatest story of revenge ever written. And you can look that up. So with that all being said, Diddy has a great way of getting revenge because he has all of the keys to the kingdom. He has all of the footage. He knows everything about these people's dirty little secrets. He knows what they like to do behind closed doors. He had SEX rooms for people to go in there and participate, engage in whatever. He has a whole Pandora's box. A treasure trove of evidence is what Diddy in fact has. That he has at his disposal, that he can drop on them at any given moment. He can exact revenge on any of his enemies at the drop of a dime. All he has to do is release the footage. And I'm not talking about the footage that the feds have, that they confiscated. He has more footage, make no mistake. So with that all being said, Diddy has all of the receipts and the invoices. Okay, Reggie says, I just imagine all the celebrities in these situations getting nasty because they felt comfortable or high. Yes. I mean, just think about all the things they could have been doing. I'm talking about those who have fetishes, those who, like bondage, S&M or whatever, because remember, that's some of the stuff they found and confiscated. There was the bondage materials in there. All sorts of nefariousness. What if some of the men specifically were into dominatrix? And they wanted women to come in there and beat them, spank them on the bottoms. I mean, just all kinds of crazy stuff. I don't want to get into the scenarios of it all. But just think about what really could be on those tapes. I mean, Eyes Wide Shut 2.0 is all I'm saying. Okay? Terry on Lacey said Caligula. Exactly. Okay? Exactly. So all nefarious. So anyway, MZ said Kim said in that book she stole footage and downloaded it. Yeah, if we're to believe the book, and I can't say whether I believe it or not right now, because Al B. Sure said the book is fake. He said they stole Kim's original information and then made the book out of just a bunch of lies and stuff. So I don't know. I believe they probably mixed some of the truth with the lies. But I don't know, but we'll have to find out. But definitely there's a whole lot of stuff going on. But at the end of the day, Diddy has the footage, the feds have some of the footage, and who knows who else has some of the footage. Like I told you guys, I think that his attorneys, his mother, and possibly some other people that he's been in cahoots with may have the footage. But whoever has it is somebody definitely that he doesn't have to worry about turning on him. That would be someone like his mother, Janice, maybe one of his sons, or both of his sons, Justin and King Combs, Christian. And then, of course, his attorneys, I would think just in case if anything happens to him, then he could still have the footage released. See, in this case, if they try to Epstein Diddy, it just may not do them any good because that evidence is still here. See, Diddy has the advantage because here's the thing. He has an advantage that Jeffrey Epstein didn't have. You see, Jeffrey Epstein, I think he had all of the footage for himself. All those boxes they carried out of his house, that was probably all the footage there was. Diddy, having seen that and knowing that and thinking about how R. Kelly's information got, taken from the house and confiscated, I'm sure Diddy had a better plan. Okay, I mean, if he's smart, and I think that he is, but so he definitely can get revenge. Now, with that all being said, let me continue. Lights up, everyone, please like and share. So the parties were known for their extravagant nature, with Diddy playing the ultimate host. These events were often attended by prominent figures in the entertainment industry, including musicians, actors, and even high-profile athletes. However, it has been alleged that beneath the glamorous facade of these gatherings, there was a much darker reality. So according to claims, there were some disturbing things that happened, specifically when we think about Andrea English and her lawsuit, okay? Because she said that Diddy himself directed her to have relations with guests, like Jacob the jeweler, okay? And this is, what other people have also said, like Rodney Jones said that he thinks Diddy was trying to put him off on his friend Cuba Gooding Jr. And so that's a person they didn't mention when they talked about the people who spoke out, because Cuba Gooding, didn't he come out and say something about Diddy being associated with Diddy and the allegations or what have you? So anyway, Diddy had immense power and influence. Okay, he really had it going on. Too bad he ruined it being nefarious and just being a whole fool and being someone full of greed and being power hungry and want to dominate and control other people through acts of intimidation and just being hateful and such a tyrant. That's what he acted like. So anyway, there were claims that Diddy pressured people to comply, through coercion, and he didn't fear any repercussions, but the people did. The people did what he said because they feared repercussions because they'd seen Diddy act a fool, throw stuff at people like chairs, lamps, champagne bottles upside the head. So people were frightened and intimidated by him. Okay, and then and speaking of English, hold on, let me pull up some of the stuff on her. Lights up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. And so, Adria English, her Miami-based attorney, Ariel Mitchell Kidd, stated that English was repeatedly instructed to engage in sexual acts with different guests, pimping people out, okay, as the parties progressed. Usually in the early morning hours when many attendees had left, leaving behind only those willing to participate in or witness these explicit acts. So who was left behind? They should have done what Denzel said, leave before the devil shows up. Now, in her lawsuit, it depicts an environment where drugs and alcohol were frequently used to lower inhibitions and exert control, specifically over female workers. And according to the complaint, specific bottles of alcohol were deliberately spiked with illicit substances and then offered to the women, encouraging them to drink. English was experienced in consuming alcohol due to her previous work in strip clubs, and she noticed the effects of these drinks, saying they were far more intense than anything she had previously encountered, alluding to the fact that there was something in them. Now, she claims she often could not remember how and how she returned home, or if she had even been paid for her participation. On one occasion, she only realized that she had received payment because she found the money in her garter belt. So here's the thing about Andrea English. As I told you all days before, I'm not buying her entire story. She said, during that interview, I believe it was with Tasha K. I believe that's when she said that she thought she was getting paid and she didn't get paid. So if you thought you were getting paid, you were likely complicit. You were doing it for money. That's what it sounded like to me when she said that. And now she wants to cry foul. I'm just not buying her story, but the other stories, most of them I believe. She said she would sometimes not remember if she got paid. So if you were getting paid, How was Diddy forcing you? You understand what I'm saying? So I think she's just, she was doing that because that's what she wanted to do. That's how she was making her money. Let's not forget she was a corn star. And not saying that because you're a corn star that you weren't coerced or pressured, but it just, she said out of her own mouth that she thought she was getting paid. So that sounds like she was willing to do it for the cash. That's all I'm saying. Now, Diddy, a man of many aliases, Sean Combs, Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, and more, recently, they call him Love, built his reputation on throwing legendary parties. Starting his career as a rapper, producer, and entrepreneur in the 1990s, and then he founded Bad Boy Records and quickly rose to fame. His work in the music industry brought him immense success, making him one of the wealthiest and most influential figures in hip hop. By the early 2000s, Diddy had expanded his empire into fashion, liquor brands, and reality television, further solidifying his status as an entertainment mogul. Yet, despite his professional success, whispers of his involvement in a seedy underworld of drugs and exploitation persisted for years. Now, English's allegations shed light on this hidden side of Diddy's lifestyle. She claims that as the night progressed, the atmosphere of these parties shifted, becoming more explicit and centered around sexual activities. Now, according to her attorney, party guests who remained after 2 a.m. were often willing participants in debaucherous activities. Okay, with Diddy allegedly directing English and other women to engage in sex acts, often with multiple male partners. This pressure, English claims, left her feeling trapped and powerless, given Diddy's immense influence within the entertainment industry. Now, Mitchell Kidd also mentioned that the parties were well organized, with security guards stationed near the bedrooms, ensuring that certain activities remained concealed from the outside world. The lawsuit describes instances where English felt physically forced to comply with Diddy's demands. She claims there were also unspoken threats that refusing him would result in professional blacklisting or potential harm. These allegations are further corroborated by other witnesses, including a hip hop insider who stated that those around Diddy were often subjected to his demands out of fear of being blackballed from the industry. Now, she did mention being blackballed, but the only thing she really was doing at the time was being a corn star. Now, she wanted to be in the industry, but what was her talent? Was she a singer? I don't recall if she was a singer or not. Her boyfriend was a model, and he was blackballed because he didn't want to do with Diddy, allegedly. And like I told you all back when her lawsuit came out, I believe back in May, I told you all in May that her lawsuit was coming. But once her lawsuit came out a couple of months ago, I told you guys that I feel like the reason Diddy did things to her, like made her host those parties or even asked her to in the first place, and then, got her to mess around with Jacob the jeweler, is because I think he was trying to get payback at her boyfriend for refusing him. I think that was his way of getting revenge because Diddy's, he's petty like that and calculating. And even though she says Diddy coerced her into doing it, she still said that she thought she was getting paid. So the question becomes, did you do it with Jacob the jeweler because you thought you were getting paid or solely because Diddy told you to? So that's why I have questions about her. And I'm not saying that she was doing it voluntarily or that she just did it because she wanted the money. I'm saying that makes me question her motives. That I just have to ask the question. If I'm being unbiased, I have to say, did she agree to do it? And now it's a different story she's telling? Or did she do it sometimes because she wanted to get paid and sometimes she didn't want to do it at all, but felt obligated because she was afraid of Diddy? Because both things could absolutely be true. Okay? So with that all being said, goes on to say that in her lawsuit, she alleges Diddy's parties were not just about entertainment, but were essentially platforms. Oh, I'm sorry. I skipped past something. Okay, so Diddy's penchant for excess and extravagance was evident in his widely publicized freak-off parties, events that allegedly took on a more sinister turn behind closed doors. Now, sources describe these parties as hedonistic gatherings where drugs and sex were prevalent. And in English's lawsuit, she alleged that Diddy's parties were not just about entertainment, but were essentially platforms for facilitating non-consensual So his attorney, Mark Agnifilo, saying that it was consensual, there was no coercion. Well, that's going to be challenged in court because she's one of the people saying that he was facilitating non-consensual sexual acts and drug consumption. And that's exactly what it sounds like to me. If it's true that he was having people's drinks laced and supplying people with copious amounts of alcohol and drugs. And unbeknownst to some of them. Now, English and others who attended these gatherings assert that Diddy had created an environment where women were expected to fulfill the desires of the male guest, often against their will. English's breaking point came, and then remember this is going to come back to haunt Diddy in court. Somebody said in one of those lawsuits, or they maybe said it in an interview. I think it was Aubrey O'Day who said it in an interview, something about Diddy told somebody he was going to pimp them out. Daddy Kane. Do you all remember that? That Diddy allegedly said that he was going to pimp them out. Somebody said that Diddy said that. So if that gets brought up in court, that's really going to not look so good because then it looks like what these people are saying about the non-consensual stuff happening is true. Okay, is true. And then English says that her breaking point was in 2008 when she alleged that she was pressured to engage in sexual activities and it became unbearable. She claims that after being ordered to sleep with multiple guests, she confronted Diddy, telling him she was no longer willing to participate. According to English, Diddy responded with anger and instructed his security guard to remove her from the party. Okay, English's attorney, Mitchell Kidd, stated that this incident marked the beginning of Diddy's campaign to blackball English from the music industry, ultimately forcing her to flee to California to escape his influence. So anyway, with that all being said, I'm going to stop right there because we already know what she said. Now, but she did say one thing that I have to recall is that she did absolutely say, hold on, let me see what this is. Okay, so anyway, with that all being said, he basically, what happened to Carrie Ann, the dance instructor? You mean Lori Ann Gibson? She's still around, but she's been quiet. She hasn't really said much, I don't think. But so with that all been said, it's just looking like Diddy is just real nefarious and kept up a whole bunch of mess. And now he had this hidden lifestyle, and all this stuff's coming to a head. But with Adria English, like I said, I just have to ask myself, was she doing these things of her own free will? Even though Diddy told her to do it, she was probably fine with it, in my opinion, because she was getting paid. When she wasn't getting paid and then she's having to sleep with multiple people, allegedly, well, that could be the issue. Okay, Odd Negro's official said, what would you do for money and fame? Exactly. AJ Matthews said it's going to be a wild trial. Oh, it is. And we're going to be right here watching it on live. Pay attention. Okay, pay attention. Hey, Miss Cookie, Black Soul Sister says, fact, Diddy was blanked by my uncle. Me, my auntie caught her husband in the act. You all caught your uncle doing something to Diddy? Oh, okay. Okay, well, I don't know if you're somebody trolling or if you're somebody who actually knows Diddy and that actually happened. So I don't know. At the end of the day, I don't think that's an excuse for Diddy. I don't think anything happened to him. I just don't. I think he's always been nefarious. Okay, Reggie said Diddy is toast. Yes, he is. And even if something did happen to him, I don't care. Because here's the thing. R. Kelly was accused of doing certain things. Diddy is also accused of murking people. So even if that happened to him as a child, even if what you say your uncle did to him was true and y'all caught him or whatever, at the end of the day, my whole thing is, what's his excuse for blowing up people's cars? What's his excuse for hitting women with chairs? What's his excuse for hitting somebody upside the head with a champagne bottle? What's his excuse for threatening to murder Steve Stout? What's his excuse for a whole bunch of things? Questions. What's his excuse for giving Zip $1 million to take out Tupac, allegedly? What's his excuse for telling somebody to put stickers on the tires or on the rims of the car that Biggie was riding in on the night that Biggie died, was murdered? Questions. What's his excuse for stealing people's publishing and then taking their music and taking the credit for it and saying that he was the executive producer when he didn't even click a cymbal. He didn't even beat a cymbal with a drumstick. I have questions. Okay, so Intuitive Empress says, yes, Queen, looking forward to hearing your astute court reporting of the trial. Thank you, beloved. Thank you. You already know we're going to be on it. Okay, New Orleans, Yahuwah's daughter said evidently Diddy didn't care. Exactly. He didn't care. And all this stuff's caught up to him now. So with that all being said, let me make sure I didn't leave out anything. Somebody just sent me something about Nancy Drew going in back and forth with Sean Davy Way. I'm gonna have to look at this and see what this is all about, honey. Y'all are so messy. Okay, why are y'all sending me this? Y'all are so messy, but I'm definitely gonna watch. Okay, and so with that all being said, yeah, I think I pretty much covered everything. Okay, y'all make sure y'all like and share this video. Okay, so Franco said Diddy's biological father was a drug dealer and a goon. Yeah, he was. And he died when Diddy was 2 years old. So if Diddy is doing some of the same things his father did, that's because maybe it was in his DNA. Okay, or maybe he was trying to live up to what his father was from the stories that he heard about his father. And I don't think he heard the stories from his mother, Janice, because he says that she lied and told him that his father died in a car accident because she didn't want him to know what kind of lifestyle his father was really living. Nevertheless, the bottom line is Diddy is nefarious. Okay, that's what he is. So likes up, everyone. Okay, likes up, everyone. Reggie said, great broadcast. I'm so informed. Thank you, beloved. Okay, so listen, I love you all to life. I hope you all enjoy the rest of this beautiful day. Keep those notifications on because if it's any more breaking news, you know I'll be right back. Okay, so with that all being said, each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. Until next time, peace.
Yo, Nick, hit him with that flavor. Gold all in my skin, God all in my blood. Kings all in my circle, you touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen, why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunta. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. That's See right. A bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood. Kings all in my circle, you touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood. Kings all in my circle, you touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got